welcome back to another vlog. Today's vlog, I think I said in my last video, was going to be a show vlog, but it's actually a lesson vlog. Managed to squeeze a lesson in on Thursday, a flatwork lesson, dressage lesson, because we were meant to be competing today, which is Saturday. However, the lady that was meant to be taking us, as you know, I can't tow. The lady that was meant to be taking us has unfortunately tested positive for COVID. She is okay, but obviously couldn't go out. But the venue have been so understanding and they've let us roll our entries over to next week. So yeah, no competing for us today, but lesson vlog instead. We did run through the test that we obviously thought we were going to do. She only tested positive late yesterday, so whenever this video was filmed, I was competing on Saturday. So yes, do a little lesson vlog. I'll give you the wee voiceover. It was also my birthday and my 2-year anniversary with Moreno on Thursday. I was 20, so we're now the same age. So yeah, it's been a successful week. There's been locking on. Just unfortunately no show today. But I will stop my rambling. Also, as you can tell by the hoodie, the heat wave's clearly gone. Never really came, but anyway. So I will stop my rambling and do a little voiceover. Hopefully you enjoy it. It was just a normal dressage lesson, but there's a few little things that I wanted to voice over just to really tell you what I was working on, because I was really happy with how I worked in this lesson, I'll be honest. I was really, really pleased with them. But yes, that's enough of my rambling. Let's get on into the video. So we started off the lesson just warming up here. We did walk and all that before. You don't need to see that anymore. So we're just making use of some poles that were set out for the previous lesson. Obviously pole work was not the focus of this lesson, but if they're there laid out for you, you may as well use them. I actually hadn't done pole work in so long with Moreno, so this was, yeah, there's been better, we'll say that. I've got the hiccups and everything as soon as I start the voiceover. But yes, so as you can see, not great with the poles, but I haven't done pole work in a very long time, and also this lesson, I hadn't ridden Moreno since the weekend. This was on Thursday, so we'd had almost a week off. And he was feeling a little bit fresh, but also like a little bit lazy, if that makes any sense. So I was trying to kind of get him listening to me and less focused on his surroundings. You can see that pole, that little raised pole thing, fan thing was quite nice. He really lifted his wee legs. So we do this a few times just in the warm-up, just to get him listening and nice and engaged. That was quite nice. He lifted himself up nicely through that. So as you can see, there's a few poles down the bottom of the arena as well that you can't really see, but I went over them as well. Then we started into the dressage arena. We normally work on not a small circle, on about a 20-metre circle to start with. So we have a 20-metre circle in the middle of the arena here, getting them nice and warmed up and everything, leg yielding in and out of the circle in a type of spiral thing. This helps Moreno really work from behind, really use the right muscles. We try and incorporate this into all our lessons because it just is really beneficial for him, really stretches him out and helps him move over and everything. And you can see here he is a little bit behind the leg, so I do use the whip just to, you know, ask him politely to let me stop working so hard. So as you can see, tiny little circle here, and then I believe I start to leg yield outwards. Yep, out we go. So he's not really in a frame that I would like him to be in right now, but I've seen worse. We'll put it that way. If you have followed along on my Instagram, he broke his bit. So we're in a different bit at the minute, which I don't think he's the biggest fan of. He's not in pain or anything. I just prefer how he goes in the other bit. So we're on the hunt for that if we can ever find it in his size. Although I do think it might have been discontinued, so we might be looking quite a while. So then we're incorporating... Oh, there's a little text come through. So we're now incorporating downwards transitions, down to walk and down to halt. Because the main thing I wanted to work on in this lesson was our final halt down the centre line of our dressage tests. We have an issue that he just kind of nosedives into a halt and doesn't really listen to what I'm saying, and then for some reason he drifts left whenever he does this like slam on the brakes thing. So I wanted him to stop predicting it so much and kind of wait for me to tell him. So there you can see we're kind of doing a bit of a jog. We're incorporating a bit more of this jog stage and then a bit more walk and then a halt. You can obviously see he saw something very interesting in the field facing him there. So this is actually going quite well on the circle. Now, the key word is on the circle. It's whenever, he's a very smart horse, whenever he goes down the centre line at the end of a dressage test, he knows it's coming. So you'll see at the end of the lesson, we do some work, some actual test riding. I'll explain a bit more. It's a bit more obvious then. But here we're just doing some downwards transitions, trying not to let him just die, trying to make him really, like, whenever he goes down the gears, go down with the back end first, rather than, because he does a weird thing. Well, you'll see it in the later videos. But lots of downwards transitions. You can see I kept him jogging for a little bit there because he felt like he just wanted to stop. And an upwards transition there. He wasn't as sharp as I would like him to be. And then I told him off and he just cantered. So now we've moved on to trying to get a very small trot. Instead of going from trot to walk, we're going a forwards trot to a very, very small trot, and then just as he thinks we're about to walk, pushing him on again. Again, this is to try and fix that little halting predicament that we have. So we had a little change of rein here, because if you've noticed, we've done a lot of work on that one rein. So a quick little change of rein. Our audience, the other two horses watching him. I think we just do the same thing this rein. I believe we start with the spirals again, starting from the start, funny enough. Yeah, we did do a little bit of the spiraling. Here, putting him in towards my instructor, he finds this rein so much easier. It is insane. Spiraling him in, he finds it a lot easier to hold the smaller circle on this rein as well. And then I begin to push him out again shortly. There we go. Yep, there we go. Good night. Again, this rein is so much easier for him, which makes it so much easier for me. Then we're going to do the same thing again with the transitions and everything. He's really not carrying himself very well, but I wasn't really focusing on it too much in this lesson. I know that seems silly, but I know he goes better in the other bit. And I just thought there's no point forcing him into this false head carriage whenever he could be more comfortable. Now, bear in mind, this bit is just a snaffle. Like, it's not... the way he seems to react makes people think it's a bit of a harsher bit. It's not. He's just very, very fussy in his mouth. No pain or anything, checked by dentists and all that. But yeah, he just prefers the other bit. So you can see here, he's not really as on my leg as I would like. I'm really having to kick. As you can see, literally every stride, my leg is right there. So I do give him a few taps of the stick to try and be like, hello, please do a bit of this yourself. That was the other transition where we're going into a smaller trot. We did lots of that actually, lots of a very tiny trot, and also helped me work a little bit on my sitting trot because I'm not very happy with it. I've never been very happy with my sitting trot. So I was going into sitting trot, really trying to bring him back and then pushing him on again. And then our walk transitions, I was having to make sure I kept my leg on in the walk. I really kept him moving forward so he didn't just die on me. So here we're starting to do some zigzag leg yielding, but very, very poorly. You can see he's really, really leading with his front. Oh, he's crossing over a wee bit there. He was really leading with his front, which, you know, it'll lead a little bit, but I don't need that much. So we do that a few times, up and down, leg yielding both ways. Again, this is really good for him. I find it very, very beneficial. It's great for loosening him up, and I feel like any ride where I incorporate leg yielding always seems to produce better work. So I'm just going to keep doing it. If it works, it works. So here we go, still doing a little zigzag. We just started him walk, obviously. I think the reason he was leading so much with his front that first time is because he just didn't know what I was asking him to do. He thought he was going down a centre line straight, and then I asked him to go sidewards, and he was like, whoa, this isn't the normal dressage test. So you can see definitely one rein a lot better than the other. This is slightly better, but still far from great. A little bit better. We pushed him a bit further that time and asked him to go a little bit further over, and then we are gradually coming back. This is not great either. His leg yielding was atrocious this day. I don't know if I was riding it poorly, if he wasn't feeling it. I don't know what the crack was, but it was a bit rubbish. So then we try it in trot. It is a little bit better in trot. That rein is just horrendous, I think, is the moral of that story. I couldn't get him to leg yield over properly. I do think it may have been an aspect of laziness though, judging by how behind the leg he was. So we then tried a different little approach to the leg yielding up the centre line, which I actually think Moreno really preferred. We did a little 10-metre circle in the bottom, and then asked for a bit of shoulder in. And then once he had the shoulder in, then started to push him over, which you can see here, that is miles better on that rein. I had to work to really collect the trot. I think that was part of the issue because he was getting a bit too big and then struggling to kind of contain himself to go sideways. So the 10-metre circle helped collect him, also helped get the bend ready for the shoulder in, which then got us the basis for the leg yield. So all I had to do was push a little bit and over he went. So we kind of thought, okay, this method works. This is the one that works. So little circle, we then changed the rein, obviously keeping everything equal. Then we're going down the way, a little bit of shoulder in, but he actually thought that shoulder in just meant go the whole way across the arena. You can't even see his legs crossing over because he's got so much tail. You don't even realise how thick the Andalusian tail is until you see Moreno. But yeah, I was really, really happy with him with this wee method because, like, I didn't expect that adding a very tight circle, then collecting him so much and then asking for shoulder in would lead for a better leg yield, because I thought that would be a bit difficult, but he just took it all in the stride as if it was nothing, which you just have to be all, yeah, that one he just went back to B as well. He just went rogue. You can't even see his feet. You can see his feet crossing over a little bit, but I'm sure you can tell that it is a lot better in the first few attempts anyway. I believe now we're going to practice a little bit of actual test riding. So I was entered for the dressage, which is Saturday whenever I'm doing this voiceover. But I've explained in the intro that I unfortunately couldn't go. So we're going down the centre line here. Am I turning? Yes. So it went down the centre line. The main focus of that was just to make him think, you're not halting. This is the start of your test. You're not halting. But we did try and do some halts and downwards transitions in different stages of the arena. So we go down the centre line again, and I think we may do a transition to walk. What do we do here? Let me watch the video with you and find out. Oh, yeah, see, that was me trying to show my instructor what happened. So you can see, went down the centre line, he was fairly straight. You can't see it as much from the back, but he just slams on the brake and then kind of goes left a little bit. So now that my instructor's seen it, we can kind of figure out what to focus on. So on that occasion, he slammed on the brakes, again, into walk, and I tried to correct him. I tried to push him over a little bit because of how much he went left, and then he went too far right. So we then trotted down the centre line and did it again, but again, he slammed on the brakes. It is slightly better this time, but he did slam on the brakes and go left again. So it is a bit of an anticipation issue. So we're going to give it a go again. This time we're coming up the centre line to see if we can confuse him a little bit. And you can see downwards transition to walk and then halt, which was actually miles better. You can see he's pretty much bang on straight for C. A looks a bit skew-iff because they weren't really lined up very well. But then he started going backwards. He thought I was asking him for rein back, and I was like, no, that's not the plan of this. So then we're going to practice some test riding here to see how this fares out. So down the centre line in working trot, I'm sure you can tell. And then I believe it's track left. We haven't done a test that is track left in a very, very long time. So down track left, and then I believe it's a 20-metre circle at E or B in the middle. I get confused with my letters. You can see he did die a little bit around that corner, and we have very minimal energy around here. He was getting a bit tired by this stage, and as you can tell by the fact I'm in a t-shirt, it wasn't really hot, but it was hot enough to be in a t-shirt, and I'm sure him being tired wasn't helping this scenario. So it looked nicer than it felt, I have to say. He felt very behind the leg, but it doesn't actually look too bad. And then we go FXC. I believe. Yeah, I had to double check there. So this little funny diagonal thing, half across your diagonal, half not, he actually does it quite well, I have to say. I'm quite pleased with how he does that. Then we have a circle at B here, just mirroring the first half of the test, basically. Getting a little bit snatchy with his head, but like I mentioned before, it's a different bit, still a very soft bit, but still a different bit, and he is a bit more comfortable in the old one that I'm currently trying to find. And then we go up here and we go across the diagonal again, or that little half diagonal thing. So we go to X and then we go straight down the middle again. There we go. He actually thought he was doing a medium trot there and got a bit excited, so I kind of had to contain him a little bit. Then we track right, I believe. No, left again. We track left, don't even know my test. Transition to walk in that corner. Medium walk, half across diagonal to B. Free walk, half circle to A, and then medium walk, half across your diagonal again. You can see Polly, the chestnut, watching us like a hawk. Our medium walk isn't great. It's a little bit choppy. It's very, very slow. But that is a work in progress. Our free walk, on the other hand, don't have much issues. You can see as soon as I gave him his rein there, he really took the bit down. He does a lovely, like, loose free walk. He always gets really good marks for these in our tests as well, which is a nice little confidence boost. And then picking him up from the free walk, he was like, no, let me keep free walking, I don't want to do this anymore. I do believe I get him to soften down a little bit just before we hit that marker, and then in that corner we trot, and in the following corner we canter. He actually looked like he was going to go into canter there off his own accord. Yeah, that was a nice little canter transition. We do a little circle at the top of the arena here, a little 20-metre circle. You can tell he's a little bit stuffy. I would like him to move a bit more forwards. So we do a lot of work on a long rein, which I will show after this clip. But yeah, doing a little canter circle. He was very, very obedient here, actually. God love him. And then we trot in this top corner. And then it's your little straight across from B to E in trot, and then canter in your bottom corner again. I could not get him back at this stage. I just could not get him on the bit. He was like, yes, I'm cantering. I know I'm cantering. Let me run. But I believe I got him back about here. Popped into canter really, really nicely there. Really obedient. Up this long side. Oh, no, never mind. We're doing a circle at the bottom. Another little 20-metre circle, which, look how good he's been. Oh, he's such a gem. I'm so obsessed with this little pony. And then we go up the long side. Just look at him. He's so cute. He was so, so good this lesson. I really can't even express how over the moon I was with him. But then we trot at F. How accurate was this? We'll see. That was actually very accurate. Okay, trotting at F, down the centre line. And then it was a progressive halt between X and G. So you can see there, I really had to keep my leg on because he did want to stop. We walked for a bit and then halt. That was miles better. We do think we did a little bit too much walk because I've never actually ridden a test that was progressive to halt, but that's all a learning curve. That wasn't his fault, that was mine. Then here we are trying to work on that stuffiness. We decided to get him walk, trotting and cantering on quite a loose rein, but I wanted him to take the reins out of my hand instead of just throwing them at him. So here we're just doing a little bit of trot. Like, he's just being so good. I remember the days whenever I first got Moreno that I couldn't have done this because I was too tense and he was too tense, and he just took off. He just bolted. You can even see, like, downwards transitions, I didn't have to touch my reins at all. He was such a good boy. Upwards transitions, he didn't throw his head up or anything. He kept that nice contact. He's really searching for the bit, which I'm thrilled about. And he's even keeping on this nicely shaped circle whenever I'm asking him to. Like, even those upwards and downwards transitions, he's doing exactly when I ask. He's doing exactly what I ask when I ask it. I'm just so over the moon with him. He's such an incredible little pony. I don't think I even sing his praises enough. I don't think I could ever sing his praises enough. He's amazing. And then we try and do a canter transition. But he didn't really know what I was asking because I didn't ask very well. Normally, obviously, I sit back, sit tall, and push him into canter, slip the leg back. But he was kind of asking why I had such long reins. He didn't really understand. So I did shorten them a little bit just for the transition, and then I let them slip again, which you can see he did struggle with. He kept trying to fall back to trot because he thought that's what I wanted. So I am keeping the leg on. He does start to get the gist around here that we just want a nice calm canter, and it's not too confusing. He was overthinking it basically. But yes, again, so obedient. He keeps the rhythm the whole way through. Lovely downwards transition, exactly when I asked for it. And he didn't throw his head up above the bit or anything. He kept searching for the bit, which is great. So happy with him. And then we do it on the other rein as well. I believe lovely transition to walk. Again, exactly when I asked. Quick little change of rein here. And then a circle up at the top end of the arena, maybe? What are we doing here? Maybe I'm changing the rein here. I'm a bit confused now. I've confused myself. Oh, we're doing a smaller circle? Oh, we're going crazy. So we're doing a smaller circle here. I do remember this now. Just to incorporate the work that we did at the start. I'm then trying to give him a little bit of leg yielding on the longer rein, which wasn't great, but obviously he was a bit confused. I don't do enough of this type of work with him. Enough of the stretchy stuff. So I'll definitely be incorporating that a little bit more, especially whenever he's calm enough like this to be able to do it without taking off. So you can see again, really searching for the bit, really taking the contact, which thrilled about. My saddle pad has started to slip, which bugs the life out of me. So I started off in trot and then picking up the reins a little bit again for the canter transition, just so he doesn't get confused. I believe he canter in this top corner, is it? Yeah, lovely obedient transition. What a good boy. And then I start to slip the reins again, just to actually get the point of what we were working on. We wanted him to search for the bit and really loosen himself up. So that's what we're doing. And again, what a good boy. He obviously really understands it now. He's not trying to break the trot or anything. That was exactly when I asked him to trot. So he's definitely a quick learner. He's got the gist of what I was asking him after that first little hurry time. And then we run through the dressage test again. Now the second time was significantly worse because he's just like, he was tired at this point and I was tired, so I wasn't riding as well. So once again, down the centre line, tracking left, and then your circle. You can see he actually got a little bit too explosive there at the end. Yes, then we're going to do a little circle in the middle here. That actually isn't too bad. He could be a little softer in my hand, but again, he is tired at this stage and he's just thinking, oh, get me to bed, which I don't blame him. I was thinking the exact same thing. So you can see he is a little bit looser, like his legs are a little bit floatier. This is the exact same test. This was the test I was meant to be riding today, obviously. I'm putting a lot more leg on because he's a lot more like, I don't want to do it. These were quite messy this time, actually, these little half diagonal jobs. Again, I do think it was purely tiredness. I don't think it was any boldness whatsoever. You can see he's quite above the bit there. He did look at something. I'm not sure what on earth he looked at. Then we have another little 20-metre circle. I also feel like I need to clarify. It looks like my 20-metre circles in the middle of the arena are very close to the top of the arena where my dad is standing. That's because our letters were incredibly wrongly spaced out and we didn't even notice. Yeah, they were far too far up, B and E. But do you know what? I was just trying to keep it accurate on the markers. So that was the only goal. The circles are in the wrong place, but they're at the right markers. It's the markers that are in the wrong place, if you get me. So yeah, that was fine. Obviously we know on the day that we would just fix that. It wouldn't be a big deal. Because the arena would be let out better than me trying to do it. So here we have another medium walk. You can see he is a lot looser. I really struggle riding the walk. I say that quite a lot. But we did do a bit of work at the end of this session on our medium walk. I don't think my dad got it on video though. No, he didn't. Just check there. So we did a lot of work in walk. Just finding the right balance of how much to ask him without annoying him. And how much to push him without getting a jog, and how much to hold him without getting a choppy kind of walk. And he actually did really, really well at the end of it. I'll definitely have to put a lot of practice into it. It's not something that's going to come overnight, and especially something that I've struggled with for so long. But I was actually really, really pleased. And this is actually the most lesson content I've got in a while. I think it was because we did so much and we had so much to work on. He actually wanted to go into canter there himself, God love him. You can see how tired he is. Like, that canter transition was just so like he just didn't want to go forward. He still did it though, exactly when I asked, because he's such a good boy like that. You can see him putting a little bit more leg on because he's just thinking, get this over with. Our circle at the top end, again, I don't think that's him being stuffy. I think that is more just, can I go to bed, mum, please? I am so bored. I'm so tired. Lovely little downwards transition. Again, really keeping my leg on, really having to push because he is just knackered at this stage. That was very messy. That looked like it was 2 half circles rather than a straight line, which definitely not wanting that. Lovely little obedient canter transition. That one had a bit more oomph. There was someone bringing a horse in, which I think was the only reason we had oomph. But anyway, nice little circle, nice little obedient circle. We do get a lot of test comments saying he's obedient, and whenever I watch things like this, I can really see why. He is such a good boy. Then we go up this long side. You can really see him start to die there. I really had to give him a bit of a pony club kick. Trotting at F a little bit early, down the centre line, and we'll see how this halt goes. So I'm thinking halt as soon as I go down the centre line. We go for walk here, I believe. Yep, and halt. So we only got like 1 stride of walk. That's all I was asking him for, and that was miles better. You can see that he's square and he's so much straighter. He did kind of die into a little bit, but it was still miles better, and any improvement is worth noting. So we do one more centre line just to finish off here, just to practice our halt. That was a nice downwards to walk. He didn't slam the brakes on. And trotting again. So we didn't actually halt that time. We didn't want him to predict it. So we pushed back on into trot. And then I believe we're going to go down the centre line again. Yes, we are. So we left the arena again. Just to kind of mimic a real test. So here we go again. Oh, my hiccups are back again. Down the centre line again here. You can see how tired he's getting. He did work really hard. This was a full lesson. So down the centre line again. And again, I'm keeping my leg on, but I'm thinking halt. And then walking. He did not die into the walk that time, which I was really proud of. Kept a nice forward walk. And halt. Look how perfectly square that is. You can actually see it from here. What a good boy. So that is all for this week's video. I know there was a lot of talking, but I didn't actually realise how many like good clips my dad got. He normally does take this many clips, but a lot get deleted because they're a bit too repetitive or a bit too long, things like that. But I actually had something to say about like everything. It was a really beneficial lesson. I know I sound like a broken record, but I was just so happy with him. It was really beneficial, but also because he was so good. It was just, and it was my birthday, and I'm still on cloud 9 from it, I'll not even lie. It was only a lesson, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm just so buzzing about it. Especially that we can't compete today, so it's like a little extra, like we did do something right. We got something done. But yes, that is all for this week's video. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next week for another video. Bye!